Hi, River Cruise Lady Linda here, and I would like to share with you the river cruise that I did along the Rhine River from Amsterdam to Basel. When I arrived at the cruise ship here, I took a look around and you can see how close the main train station of Amsterdam is located to the pier. If you're arriving ahead of time and want to stay at a hotel, there is a Movenpick that is located directly behind where the river cruises dock. Here is my lovely French balcony cabin that I had with Ama Waterways before I made a mess of it. You can either have the beds together or apart. It's so nice having the big sliding door with the French balcony because you can see what's going on out in the river and possibly meet some new friends. We were docked overnight in Amsterdam, and then the following morning we got to go on a canal cruise. It was so fun going under the low bridges, seeing all the houses from the water. It's just a great way to see the city. Walked around and saw some of the sights. We strolled through the flower market, sampled some of the famous cheese. On our coach tour later, we got to stop and see a very majestic windmill. After our morning excursion, we were then taken to meet up with the ship again. You don't actually sail out of Amsterdam. You meet up with the ship a little bit further down the river, and as it's getting prepared to go through its first lock. Here we are getting ready to go into the lock. I'm not sure why I find them so fascinating. It's almost like they're mesmerizing, watching the ship go through. Here's a shot of the captain maneuvering us into the lock, and you can see there's literally inches to spare on each side of the ship. Our first stop was in Cologne, and I decided to do a bike tour that day because it was such a lovely day, and it's so nice with Ama Waterways having the bikes on board. I had to stop and get a picture of this place. It is my favorite chocolate. We stopped at the Cologne Cathedral, which is a World Heritage Site and one of Germany's most visited landmarks, and it was absolutely stunning. There were so many things to see, but the camera just didn't do it justice. Then we departed Cologne and headed down the river. Thought this was kind of a fun picture after we went under the bridge, turned around and saw the train going up above and another river cruise ship in the river. I bought this great fold-out pamphlet of all the Rhine castles, and it was a really good buy. I highly recommend it. I bought it in the gift shop on board. That's a great thing about river cruising. You're just sitting up on the top deck and this beautiful scenery just floats by. You see these castles up on the hill, and you think, wow, if those walls could talk, imagine the stories they could tell. As we were sailing down the Rhine and we came to Lorelei, they told us the fabled tale about the rock. Here's the marker, and it was said that anyone sailing close to the rock would lose their life, for the song that played was irresistible, and any sailors who tried to reach Lorelei never returned. Of course, it's not all just castles. There's a lot of history here, too. As we pass the area here, they now call it the Peace Museum. This, of course, with the famed bridges that the American troops were able to cross. It's the last remaining bridge in the Rhine in 1945. Of course, it was fascinating to learn about the history and see it all come to life, and it was hard sometimes to tear yourself away to go inside. We arrived in Rudesheim and took the gondola up to the top, and then ended up walking back down through this beautiful vineyard. It was just a lovely day for walking. This is the monument at the top, and it was inaugurated in 1883 to represent the Union of all Germans. I'm not even going to attempt to say the name of it, though. Since we were still docked in Rudesheim, some people went in for an evening stroll and saw the Siegfried's Mechanical Museum, and others, well, we went to a coffee house and saw them make the famous Rudesheim coffee and had a taste of that. It was delicious. One of the other benefits, of course, of river cruising is the short time it takes you to get off the ship. You can see here's the short ramp, and then you're already on your way into town. We're now docked at one of Germany's oldest cities and walking through the beautiful churches and cathedrals. And the locals were all lined up to get one of the famous pretzels that they sell on the streets. The next day found us in Strasburg, which is actually located in France, but because it's right on the border of Germany, it has a real influence of both cultures, and it turned out to be one of my favorite cities that we visited. It was a very bicycle-friendly city with wide pathways and very easy to get around, so we decided to take a bike tour in the afternoon. back on board, one of my favorite things to do is to visit the captain and see the bridge area. Again, another benefit of river cruising is that the friendliness, you can go in and talk to them. He explains all the controls, what everything's for, and he didn't even mind that I filmed him for a minute. This was one of the deeper locks that we were in. Then we finally arrive up to the top, the green light comes on, and away we go. Here we are docked in Basel, ready to disembark. Some people were going on to do the extension in Lucerne and Zurich. Some were flying home, but it was sad to say goodbye to everyone. So thanks for joining me as I shared my cruise down the Rhine River, and hopefully it's inspired you to want to do one yourself one day.